Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome, Outlandish, Isam, Wakas, Lenny.
Why did you look at your notes when you had to say my name, man?
I was looking at my notes because I was thinking to myself, I have really nice handwriting.
You don't remember me, huh, do you?
It happened.
What's up with that, man?
It's been a while, man.
I know it's been a while, but it's on YouTube, you know, you can, I mean.
Yeah. How
do you
long
think
has
I've
it been?
enough?
3 years, 4 years?
4 years.
Twice I've interviewed you now. This is the third time. It's not like we're strangers. What makes you think I have that much time to just scour on the internet, on YouTube?
It's true, you're a star, you know. You're a star.
Hey, this is a nice set.
By the way, I like it.
I like
It's
it.
very
It is
live-ish.
As Lenny observed accurately, 5 stars represent the 4 of us.
Yeah, exactly.
2 for you.
2 for me and
One
one each for
Oh,
you
The
guys.
star of the show,
Of
man.
course, it's the start of the show.
Yeah, there. You guys, mashallah, you know.
Thank you very much.
Let him finish, man.
Let me finish.
I know
He's
what-
thanking
I
me
know
for
what-
something I haven't.
I know what
Do you
you're
know
saying.
what I'm going to say
Yeah,
next?
You do good and you do good. Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, I was going to say you try hard.
Not hard enough.
Not hard enough. Well, mashallah, this is the third time you guys, I've had the privilege of speaking to you. We learned a lot about you guys as you've made your way up to as you are now as Outlandish, signed up to record labels, mashallah, doing well, mainstream as well. What's the ride been like for you guys up until now?
What's the life?
The ride.
The ride.
Oh, the ride. Sorry, I thought you want.
Yeah, it's like everything else. It's like a roller coaster. You know, alhamdulillah, we are privileged to do something that we love, to express ourselves through music, and we've been doing that for a decade now. That sounds like a long time, right? When I say
You
that.
sound old.
A decade.
But mashallah, you still look very young.
Thank you very much.
You just don't get older.
No, I know.
Every time I see you.
Everybody says
It's like baby face.
Cuban, they eat a lot of
Drink a lot of
avocados.
water.
You know, drink a lot of water.
Bananas.
Bananas.
Beans.
Plátanos.
Eat
Plantains.
beans, you know, like peas. And
Peas.
stuff like that.
Give peas a chance.
Eat healthy.
Alhamdulillah. So you guys focus what? Hip hop, R&B, soul. Is that the flavor?
I think we got different genres. We, you know, with Outlandish, it's never been about the genres. It's just about, you know, the
sound.
Not the sound, more like, you know, us three. You know, because we go through different phases in our lives, and you know, you might jump into some singer-songwriter, folk music, or you know, more rockish, or even more oriental. It's all about the inspiration and where you are in your life. So we're really not about, you know, just hip hop or R&B or soul or urban. It's just whatever's out there, you know, in our lives, you know. So
Yeah, whatever we feel like. I mean, it's actually we go in the studio, we just concentrating on doing good music as we want to do it, and you know.
So do you take it in turns when it comes to the creative process? Do you come in, Lenny, and say, you know what, I want to do something closer to my roots? You say I want to do something more from the subcontinent and maybe a bit more North Africa.
I think it's all about the ideas. It comes down to the ideas. If Isam has an idea and I don't understand it or he doesn't understand it, then I mean we give each other the liberty to like try it off. You know, it's wrong to like stop the creative flow. So if one has an idea, go with it, paint the picture, and if the picture turns out not the way we want it, you know, then we just put it aside or wherever, you know. But it is like a mutual understanding between the 3 of us and the diversity. Because
and it's also a compromise,
yeah,
like
exactly.
in every relationship, you know. We agree with 3 different persons with different tastes of music.
The last album, I think back in 2005, was Closer Than Veins. What have you been doing since 2005?
Wow.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
5 years now.
I mean, we've been touring.
We've been touring a lot.
Where's your touring taken you?
Basically, almost all over the world. You know, we've been to Africa, Asia,
US,
North
we've been in the
America,
US a couple of times. Europe.
No. The only spot that we're still missing is South America.
We have the privilege of performing in Morocco. It was great. I mean,
they must have loved you, right?
Yeah,
it's the first time
it was a special moment for me because obviously my roots from there. So you know, I've been there every summer. So just growing up and with my cousins, family, and to be there in a you know, to do a job and not just for vacation was really weird. But I really, you know, it took me back, and it made me understand how much Morocco has given me as an artist, and how much it has inspired me. Morocco has a lot of culture also when it comes to the Muslim or the Islamic culture, and it had played a huge role in my life. So I really appreciated that moment. It meant a lot for me.
I think back in 2009, Sound of a Rebel.
Yeah.
An album. And what was the idea behind it? What flavor of music is that, would you say?
Well, I think it's all our albums are outlandish, kind of. It's our own sound.
But what is outlandish? Is it just random?
It's different to explain, but
I think it's us three. The three of us. Yeah.
That collaboration it makes it outlandish.
Well, you have different tracks on that album, and it's also like where we are in our lives, and that's what it represents.
It was a very personal album, actually.
Yeah, all our albums are personal. So
what was happening in your lives at that time?
I mean, we went through a phase. The idea behind Sound of Rebel is before that we had material for like 2 albums, but it just didn't feel right because during the whole tour factor, fame factor, being busy, business partners, family. I mean, it's like every other relationship. You tend to like drift apart, like here and here, and we did that, and we didn't actually realize it, or we just didn't talk about it. So Sound of a Rebel basically was like the beginning of us going back to what made us start. It wasn't any business. It wasn't any, money, touring, whatever. It was the passion of doing music. So that was like we just
telling a story.
Telling that story, actually,
And having fun doing it,
And having fun
working on the music. After 10 years, it became like a routine. It was being in the studio, just working without really like enjoying what you're doing. It was work.
Do you think that is a natural thing when a group like yourself together
it's definitely a natural.
You reevaluate.
It's definitely a natural thing. I don't think you can point out any artist that is in the music business who won't be touched or moved somehow by the music business, just by everything you get, from Eminem to Lady Gaga, Madonna, whatever, anyone. Even if you go the big Anashid artist that is out there, it's a huge thing to stand on a stage. You get all the spotlight, you get all the fame, you get all the attention. That does something to you. It does something to you as a human being, as an artist. You get, the ego gets a boost, and afterwards you go down, and you might be a father and you have to change diapers, and just go back to something totally down to earth.
Smelling reality.
Yeah, and that's for some, that reality check hits hard, and for others, they might balance it even better, but. This is, I mean, we're talking about some of these issues on Sound of a Rebel.
I mean, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. Many people around the world appreciate what you're doing. It's good, it's different, it's refreshing. How does the Muslim communities that you visit around the world, because your fan base is not just Muslims, it's obviously people of other faiths as well. But do the Muslims see you as like an Islamic group? Like, do they just see you as Muslims performing music, which is of conscience?
I mean, it's different, I mean, people always like to put
you
others
in a box.
So some will put us in the well-integrated people's box, that look, this is a good example of integration, The politicians will put you in a box and use you like, hey, look, Outlandish, we take a picture, whatever. And some kids happen to be Muslim. They'll look at us, look at me and him, and we're Muslims, and they see that we manage to make it, and we talk about stuff in our songs that they can relate to.
And that we wear box fresh,
whatever, and we're fresh people. And, it inspires. I remember when I was a kid, whenever I saw someone, that looked like me, who had a similar story like me, I felt inspired. And that's what it's basically about. It's about inspiring people, and regardless of where they're from or what they believe in,
But I think it's about, when you're in that situation, it's about being yourself. Because, as time goes, people realize who you are. I mean, if you're always yourself, then they will get it. I mean, they will see who you are. They will, and respect you for who you are. And I think, I mean, in the Muslim community, a lot of people, of course, in the beginning, they didn't know about us. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of people would put you in that box. Yeah. And then they discovered there's a lot of other things too,
You were signed up with a pretty major record label. I'm not sure if that's...
the second biggest in the world. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite big.
So, yeah, pretty big. There be some good games consoles.
Yeah.
Did you feel your creativity was stifled in any way? Did they come down and say to you, look, you know, there are certain things we prefer you not to talk about?
I mean, the reason we got signed back in '97 was the fact that we were different, and that's been the whole gimmick, you know, of us being different, not sounding like anyone else. In
telling
music,
a different story.
telling a different story.
You know, because the truth is that it's not that many, you know, with our backgrounds that is out there and talking about, you know, their lives. I mean, so they might tell another story that is out there already. So it's you know, it's about trying to be yourself, because that's where the original story is, and the more local you can do, the more international you actually have a chance to be. But I want to talk just a little bit about the whole you know, Muslim community and music. You know, I think unfortunately we as a community don't appreciate our artists that much. I know many of my colleagues in the business, you know, just a bit disappointed. And I think the way we do conventions and events, you know, you get the speakers. It's more like, it's cool that it's more about the speakers than it is about the artists. You know, so the sound for the artist is most of the times not very good, but for the speaker is, you know, you just need a mic and you'll
just get on with it.
Exactly.
Hopefully your voice will carry and make the right sound.
Exactly. Yeah? And that's too bad.
It's almost like a lack of appreciation, right?
It is. I heard like one of my friends who's been in this business for a long time, and he just quit, and it really.
He quit? Why?
He quit it. I don't want to mention any names.
No, who?
But just
why?
because he got tired of it, you know. Because if you, I mean, you always have to, you know, listen to the same story about that. You don't get the appreciation enough, you know, the treatment. You know, you come to a certain place for the Muslim community, and you don't even get picked up at the airport. You know, it's like classical situations anyway.
That's a typical problem.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we need that appreciation for each other's being, just being around, basically, because we give to each other, and that's something that we definitely can improve. But I definitely think it is improving.
We're talking about meaning. Music with a meaning is something that you're working on at the moment, Lenny. What's all that about?
Well, that was actually, for us, it was just about doing what we already was doing. I mean, it's doing music that comes from the heart and, you know, speaking your mind out. And it was a campaign, or actually it's just like a group of people that wanted it to you know, to get that type of music more in, you know, in the mainstream, because it's always, you know, the pop and sometimes music that doesn't really have much substance that's out there in the radios and stuff like that. Sometimes, you know, it's about, we always say it's about, you know, you doing your work. If you're good, and you have a good melody, and you know, if you're good, you will get there. And that's what we focus on. And I mean, but we're not afraid of, you know, supporting people that trying to get the kind of, and, you know, just support artists that trying to do what they feel, you know, and not doing what the record companies want to do, or radios, or what is out there, or what Britney Spears is doing, you know. Just not copying anyone, just being yourself. And there's a lot of good artists that don't get, you know, this kind of attention. So, I mean, we support that. We get a lot of attention, so we're one of, you know, the local ones, if you can say that. So we use our spotlight to, like, you know, make people aware that there's a lot of different type of music. I mean, you can't just say music. I don't listen to the radio because what they play is bad. That's not all music. You know, there's a lot
of some, isn't it? It's,
you know, you can use the internet. You can use, you know, talk to people, and you would discover a lot of good, you know, people.
What do you think you would have loved to have done if you weren't singing? What would you have preferred to have done?
I would have owned a hotel by now. I was quite good at it, you know. I was quite good at interacting with people and stuff like that. Sure. So that was back in '95. By now, I would have been.
His face. Can you see his face as a picture right now?
I would have been a hotel executive.
I'm imagining the hotel.
A concierge.
Right now. Like,
yeah.
Man who can fix.
No, I would have owned the hotel. I would like.
Isam, what would you have done? What would you like to have done?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's maybe teaching.
Do you guys watch Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched it?
No,
Who's your favourite character?
Why Wakas all the time? Wakas.
You remember it.
Sesame Street.
I was with the Elmo one.
Yeah.
I remember the Big Bird. Yeah, but I don't know.
Is that your favourite character?
Nah. What about the frog?
The frog? No, that's Kermit, man. That's the Muppet Show.
Oh,
He's green.
No, that's Muppet Show.
I haven't seen it. I lived in Cuba when I was a kid. I mean, we had
Sesame.
like Russian
Cartoons.
cartoons. I don't know the American story.
Because they could hear those
Yeah.
impoverished life
I'm
is
like,
now coming
okay,
out.
I
We
don't
never
know.
had a TV.
Never had a
we
TV.
No, I had a
meal
TV,
day.
but they only show, you know, like speaks and stuff. I was like, okay.
You've had Isam, Wakas, you've had a couple of solo efforts, haven't you? Lenny, what happened?
Well, you know what happened.
Where's your solo effort?
It's just not me. I mean, I'm
Just like you're not a solo guy.
Yeah, I've done a lot of things and you know, work with some friends and do music, and just not the right time. So when the time is there, I think I'll do some.
And for you guys, your music that you've done as solo albums, is it still outlandish? Is it?
I think it's a bit different. I'm more into like I don't know, singer-songwriter field. I don't know why, but that's just how it turned out. But for me, I mean, it's always been about the stories, you know, to tell what I see. And I made a, how do you say, an interpretation of a very old song. I think it goes back 200 or 300 years.
It's Anderson, right?
Yeah, H.C. Anderson, he wrote it, he wrote the poem, and then someone composed the music for it. And I just took it, you know, did a new version of it. And it was, for some reason, people thought it was weird that I was singing it because, you know, I'm a Muslim and I have a different background. But it was about where your home is. And I think for us, having these two cultures and stuff, it's you know, it's kind of tough to actually tell where is your home, you know, because I don't know. Do you know where your home is? I mean, like,
It's not far from here.
where do you feel? Nah, I mean, like, where do you feel? Where do you feel you belong? Yeah.
You know, I was born and raised in this country.
Yeah.
My family are from East Africa, so when I go there, it feels comfortable, feels normal. A lot of family's still there.
You don't look East African.
No, I don't have the afro. But I originally from India. India from, you know, they migrated to East Africa.
You don't look Indian.
I don't really look like much. I know. Why is
You
that?
look British.
I look British, mate. Yeah,
You
well, I
look
was born and
British.
bred here. What do you expect?
It's the
but
weather.
you know, when you're back here, when you fly abroad, you come back here, it's all you know. But I don't know. I think that's a good question as well.
I got all the good questions.
You do. Maybe you should be in the seat. You're doing a better job than I am. Come, let's swap. This solo effort. So, I mean, it seems like you guys have got, you know, much of a strong friendship. You know, you've been together for over 10 years. Every time I see you, you're very chilled out. You know airs and graces. None of that. You're just normal, down to. You just get on with it. And they can sit, have a laugh. I mean, it doesn't seem like you guys are. You know, are you guys going to become a take that? Are you, you know, split up for a while?
Oh.
And do a Gary Barlow and Robert
Yeah,
Williams
like
video.
some would be the old, you know.
No, we've had
Gary Barlow,
our
Robert.
issues. You know, every group goes.
What issues do you have? Come on, tell us.
Sorry?
What sort of issues have you had?
Just everything that you know, every group goes through. You know, if you take a group like Fugees, if you remember them.
Fugees, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had the synergy they had. I mean, they were 3 in the group, but it felt like 300. And but as soon as they lost that synergy, it just turned like they were not even one. you know, and that's the key to, you know, to being in a group.
But any
to keep it
relationship,
together.
when you're around each other, you're going to have the ups and downs, just like normal relationships, right? But the fact that you've been together for so long is
there is a, I mean, regardless of how much we love, hate, fight, whatever, there is a special bond that just keeps us coming back together in some odd way. You know, it's beyond us for us to understand.
Yeah, I think we have you know, a brother relationship. So you can, I mean, you don't have to see each other every day or every year, or even at all. I mean,
It's just when the studio went.
These are holograms. This is some.
that's where technology is taking us.
Technology.
Yeah.
I'm actually sitting in Pakistan right now. You know,
In the pin,
in the Pind.
watching a movie or 5. What do you feel you guys have got left to achieve? What would you like to
many
achieve?
things.
As much. I mean, that's the beautiful thing of it. I mean, we
Doing the perfect song.
there's not
Like the
such
perfect storm? Perfect
the
song.
perfect
What
the
is
imperfect
perfect
the
song?
imperfect song.
The imp-
Yeah.
So if you were to pick a song out there which you feel for you is almost perfect, what do you think it would be?
Of our own.
From others, of course, right?
Doesn't have to be.
Okay. The perfect song. That's
Is that a tough one?
Let me just turn it
R.E.M.
there's this song called, I
R.E.M.
think it was, what's it called, this Ivy or whatever, you know.
Ivy?
I don't know. Ivy.
Ivy.
I love a song by R.E.M. Losing My Religion. That's a good song.
That's a good song.
That's a great song.
Not
I
on
wish
this
we do
channel,
that.
it's
Not on
good.
this channel.
Oh, no, yeah, of course.
But
Losing my religion, not anymore.
But still, there's,
It's taken out of
a deeper
context.
meaning. There's a deeper meaning in the song. You know.
Sade, By Your Side is a great song. There's a lot of, it depends in what mood you are, I guess.
So in terms of what you want to achieve before,
No, I mean, there's
the end.
always a story to tell. It's just how you tell it. And for us, we often talk about, yeah, we can't tell the same story twice. And suddenly something hits you, you know, boom, and you get an idea and you just go with it. You know, it turns out something original. And it's the search for that new idea, you know, something that's strange. I mean, we're currently working on a new album, and we're in studio with different people. And we work with a guy called Mo, who's from Sweden. He is a beautiful guy. Looks like a mouse, like big afro. Love him.
looks like a mouse with a big afro.
Yeah.
A mouse
I don't
with
know.
a
I told him I saw a cartoon once with Tom and Jerry, and Jerry had this little cousin from abroad who had a diaper on. That dude doesn't wear a diaper, but he had like a huge. There was some stuff similarity, and I showed him the picture, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe that's true."
Yeah,
but
maybe
talks
but
like that.
we actually we were working on one tune, and then suddenly I wasn't in the studio, and the guys had an idea. He said something, then he said something, and then he played the guitar, and suddenly we had like. Then I came, and I was like, "What?" You know, and suddenly magic just happens, and that's why we do music. You know, it's just like to create something from nothing.
Yeah.
So if there's something you could change, what do you think that one thing would be? Same question to all of you.
I mean, just, what do you
In
mean?
our career or just in the world?
Just anything.
Oh,
It's too heavy, man.
that's deep.
Hey, it's not.
One thing, yeah, I would change a lot
See,
of things.
let's say about, you know, about
Cure
society.
against cancer. I just lost a friend to cancer. SubhanAllah, yeah. That was
What
in
type
his,
of cancer was it?
it was in his stomach. I don't know like the details, but I really thought that he would make it, and it was you know, a huge surprise for me when I heard it. And he was my age, so yeah, SubhanAllah, Allah yarham.
And then on the other side, I mean, speaking of cancer, we have a very, very dedicated fan in Denmark who, like, the doctor's given up, but she's been at it for like 8 months, and she turns out to every single concert we do. And she's there, you know, and it's amazing that, I mean, her will and strength, you know, so that also inspires you, you know what I mean? But a thing I would change, you know, good education, free good education for people.
Lenny?
Oh, that's deep, man. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I think,
That's
you
my
know,
slide.
I think a lot of things happen for reasons. I don't even think I will change anything. I think you have to learn from all what's happening around you and just trying to be the best you can. Like, if you change something, then it wouldn't be you. So.
Well, you always got the good punchlines, man.
Because I'm
Isn't
Lenny,
it?
man.
And on that, hey, it's been a pleasure speaking to you all again. I wanted to do
It's already
something.
finished. I was like,
Yeah, we're
I
done.
was ready to go at it all night.
Oh, we can do. No, honestly, as always, it's been a pleasure
Likewise.
speaking to you,
Pleasure.
seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
We are privileged to do something that we love, to express ourselves through music, and we've been doing that for a decade now. That sounds like a long time, right? When I say
You
that,
sound old.
a decade.
But Marsha, you still look very young.
Thank you very
very
much.
You just don't get older.
No, I know.
Every
I know.
time I see you.
Everybody says
It's
It's
like
Cuban,
baby face.
Cuban, a lot of
Drink a lot of
avocados,
water.
you know, drink a lot of water,
Bananas.
bananas,
Beans.
plátanos,
Eat
plantains,
beans, you know, like peas. And
peas,
stuff like that.
give peas a chance.
Eat healthy.
Alhamdulillah. So you guys focus what? Hip hop, R&B, soul. Is that the flavor?
I think we got different genres. We, you know, with Outlandish, it's never been about the genres. It's just about, you know,
The sound.
not to sound more like, you know, us three. You know, because we go through different phases in our lives, and you know, you might jump into some singer-songwriter, folk music, or you know, more rockish, or even more.
True, you're a star, you know. You're a star.
Hey, this is a nice set.
By the way, I like
Yeah,
it.
I
It's,
like
it's
it.
It is
very
nice.
live-ish.
As Lenny observed accurately, 5 stars represent the 4 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
2 for you.
2 for me and
one for
probably
me.
1
Of
each for you
Let's
guys.
start the show,
Of
man.
course, it's the start of the show.
Yeah.
No, you guys, mashallah, you know.
Thank you very much.
Let him finish, man.
Let me finish.
know
He's
what-
thanking
I
me
know
for
what-
something.
I know what
Do you
you're
know what
saying.
I'm going to say
Yeah,
next?
You do good and you do good. Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, I was going to say you try hard.
Not hard enough.
Not hard enough. Well, mashallah, this is the 3rd time you guys, I've had the privilege of speaking to you. We learned a lot about you guys as you've made your way up to as you are now as Outlandish, signed up to record labels, mashallah, doing well, mainstream as well. What's the ride been like for you guys up until now?
What's the life?
The ride.
The ride.
Oh, the ride. Sorry, I thought you want.
Yeah, it's like everything else. It's like a roller coaster, you know. Alhamdulillah.
Oriental. It's all about the inspiration and where you are in your life. So we're really not about, you know, just hip hop or R&B or soul or urban. It's just whatever's out there, you know, in our lives, you know. So
Yeah, whatever we feel like. I mean, it's actually, we go in the studio, we just concentrating on doing good music as we want to do it. And, you know.
So do you take it in turns when it comes to the creative process? Do you come in, Lenny, and say, you know what, I want to do something
Yeah.
closer to my roots? You say I want to do something more from the subcontinent and maybe a bit more North Africa?
I think it's all about the ideas. It comes down to the ideas. If Isam has an idea and I don't understand it or he doesn't understand it, then I mean we give each other the liberty to like try it off. You know, it's wrong to like stop the creative flow. So if one has an idea, go with it, paint the picture, and if the picture turns out not the way we want it, you know, then we just put it aside or wherever, you know. But it is like a mutual understanding between the 3 of us and the diversity. Because
And it's also a compromise,
Yeah,
like in
exactly.
every relationship, you know. We are a group with 3 different persons with different tastes of music.
The last album, I think back in 2005, was Closer Than Veins. What have you been doing since 2005?
Wow,
That's a long time.
that's a long time.
5
man.
years now. What's
I mean, we've been touring.
We've been touring
the
a lot.
album.
Where's your
went
touring taken you?
basically almost all over the world. You know, we've been to Africa, Asia,
US,
North
we've been in the
America,
US a couple of times. Europe.
Europe.
No.
The only spot that we're still missing is South America.
We have the privilege of performing in Morocco. It was great. I mean, it was.
They must have loved you, right?
Yeah,
It's the
I
first
mean,
time,
it was,
actually,
it was a special moment for me because obviously my roots from there.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome. Outlandish, Issam, Wakas, Lenny.
Why did you look at your notes when you had to say my name, man?
I was looking at my notes because I was thinking to myself, I have really nice handwriting.
You don't remember me, huh? Do you?
It happened.
What's up with that, man?
It's been a while, man.
I know it's been a while, but it's on YouTube, you know. You can, I mean.
Yeah. How
Do you
long
think
has
I've
it been?
never?
3 years, 4 years?
4 years.
Twice I've interviewed you now. This is the third time. It's not like we're strangers. What makes you think I have that much time to just scour on the internet, on YouTube, and